Welcome to Sweethearts or Rivals podcast number 12.
Number 12.
It's going to be special edition Tabletop Day.
Yep. Because we had Tabletop Day just the other day, along with the rest of the world.
That's right. I think every day, really, though, that you play a game is Tabletop Day.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's cool that they make a day specific International Tabletop Day because you get to do the same things as other people are doing with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Around the world.
And I think it helps grow the hobby because if you say, I'm going to hang out with a couple of friends and play some board games this weekend, people are like, okay. But if you say there are thousands and thousands of events happening simultaneously around the world with the tabletop board game community, that sends a message like, oh, this is a big thing. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. So we hosted an event. We had 7 guests over for the vast majority of a day. And we played many, many games.
We did.
What did we play?
Well, the very first thing we did before anyone came over is we tried live streaming for the first time on YouTube.
That was interesting.
Yeah. We did 7 Wonders Duel.
Yeah. This is the second time that we have played 7 Wonders Duel. And the first time I played it, I thought that was really neat and interesting. But I could also just play 7 Wonders and be just as happy with it. So then the second time we played it, that changed quite a bit. The second time we played it, I got right into it and enjoyed it a lot.
I liked it better than 7 Wonders both times I played it.
Yeah. So I don't know why the first time, maybe because there was a lot of hype behind it.
Maybe the hype.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So the second time, I didn't go into it expecting anything except for a 2-player version of 7 Wonders. And it was really, really, really awesomely fun.
The thing about Duel is it's designed specifically for 2 players.
Yeah.
Whereas base 7 Wonders is technically better 3 or more players.
Exactly.
So probably I'd say half of our games we ever played 7 Wonders base or with 2 players. And the variant is kind of...
There's a little bit of extra work to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it's not necessarily as fun as a multiplayer. But I don't know. It does lose a little something as a 2-player game.
Well, there's extra steps that you have to be aware of and work with and do, and that can take you away from like focusing on your strategy. Yeah. So it's not that it doesn't work well, because it does, but the Duel works so much better
with
as a 2-player game.
And I think if I had my choice between playing 7 Wonders or 7 Wonders Duel, I would want to play Duel.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons why the first time I played it, I wasn't immediately in love with it was instead of drafting cards, there's the card pyramid, which is, it's supposed to like simulate the draft, but it does work in a very different way. And the first time, I don't know if I liked it, but the second time, I really enjoyed it because I got really into the trickiness of the decisions of which one do I pull, not just for my strategy, but in looking at what it's going to reveal for you or take away from you or give you, that kind of, all that stuff. Very intricate part of the game that I didn't really get into last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Well, I find it really interesting because we were playing and it was probably 3 turns till I knew the game was going to be over. And Justin didn't realize it yet, but he had already won the game.
Yeah.
And I knew in the series of cards that would be pulled, because, I mean, it's just back and forth,
Yeah.
that I already lost because he was going to have a science victory in 3 moves. And I'm just sitting there waiting for him to notice it and waiting. And he's not. And I'm like, is he going to call it so that... Anyway, it was kind of funny.
That was cool. So that was 7 Wonders Duel.
How did you find the live streaming on YouTube?
The live streaming. One of the reasons why we got out of live streaming is because we used to do it through Twitch, and we would have to stream and record simultaneously so that we could have a really good quality video to put on YouTube. And with the new computer, it didn't do that very well.
No, it didn't.
It almost overwhelmed the computer, and it couldn't do both. So suddenly the videos were choppy. Things wouldn't sync up very well. The quality was just crap. So I really thought that the YouTube live stream worked quite well, because the video that gets streamed and saved on YouTube automatically is a very high quality video.
Yeah.
The same as if we had hit record. So we can live stream directly to YouTube without overwhelming the computer by simultaneously recording, because it will just record automatically to YouTube.
And then if we ever want to edit that video, we can just bring it back down to the computer.
Yeah.
And then edit it and then just upload it again.
And that was another thing. To download the video from Twitch was a very involved process, and the quality was crap. Whereas all I have to do is log into our YouTube account, hit one button, and the entire MP4 file downloads in full quality. And then, yeah, like I said, just very easy to take that and start editing it.
Yeah.
So it's very cool that we can do that, and that we've found out we can do that.
I think we'll have to do more live streaming in the future, although I was so out of practice.
Yeah.
Like, I felt a little awkward live. And also, the mistakes I made on camera, I was really embarrassed about. Like, we didn't know if we played something wrong.
Yeah. There's a mistake that we made.
Oh, with the buying the wonders or whatever, building the wonders.
Yeah, with the discard pile.
Yeah, I was really embarrassed we made that mistake.
Yeah.
And then we weren't sure because we couldn't find it in the rule book. Like, when you have you can play another turn immediately.
Oh, if you can do that in a string.
More than once.
Yeah.
In a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do some more live streaming, I think.
Yeah, I think that should be something we do somewhat regularly.
I should get back in the comfort zone with it, because it is a lot of fun.
Yep.
And we had at one point, well, this is going to sound small, but we had 7 people watching at one point.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we ever had that many people watch us on Twitch.
No. And as soon as we were done, it was, okay, we got people that arrived with like the last 10 minutes, so we didn't have time to do anything afterwards. We just had to stop, cut, and then move on to tabletop day. And so it automatically uploaded the video, and it was public. And we were thinking, yeah, we'll just go delete that later, no big deal.
Yeah, because we made mistakes, and I was embarrassed. You know, I blushed so much on that video, I didn't know how red my cheeks got, and I wanted to go back and see.
But by the time tabletop day was over and we went back to the channel to delete it, it had been watched like 70 times.
Yeah.
So there's
so
like
now
a
I don't
lot
want
of
to
people.
delete it.
Yeah.
Even though, anyway, I just have to get over my fear of that. You know, of like not having your hair done and stuff.
Yeah. So I definitely think more live gaming is in store in the future for the channel.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. So we should jump back into the games we played on Tabletop Day.
That's right. So after we shut down the live stream and people showed up, the first thing we played was...
Some friends brought over Shadows over Camelot.
Yeah.
Which we had heard a lot about, of course, because it's a very popular older game.
Yeah, one of the classics.
But knowing that it wouldn't play with 2... I can't even imagine. After I've played it, I can't even imagine playing it with 2 players.
No, I don't see it, no.
Yeah.
And it's a co-op, which isn't really our big thing.
Yeah, we're not usually a big co-ops.
Yeah.
But it's a trader game.
Yep.
We like trader games.
Yeah.
Like traders, not traders.
I like trading.
I like both. Okay. But it was really cool, actually.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Like, I had heard it talked about before, and I didn't quite understand what you were doing when you were playing the game.
Yeah.
So it was nice to play it, and then, you know, by around 2 or 3, I was, like, really understanding what I had to do and what the object of the game was.
Yep. We made some mistakes because it was pretty much everyone's first time playing.
Yeah.
We probably technically should not have won, but we did, and that's okay.
Well, no one was accusing anyone of being traitors.
No, because nobody did anything that seemed traitorous.
Treacherous,
no.
Yeah.
So I think we did end up having a traitor, and I don't think that person really knew what to do to sabotage stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah.
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 But it was cool.
It was fun.
Like, the object of the game, there's quests you go on.
Mm-hmm.
There's to get the Grail, and then to get Excalibur. And then there's some kind of Lancelot fight.
Yeah, where you get Lancelot's armor.
Okay. So there's 3 different boards, and then there's the main board, where there's 2 fights with the Picts and the Saxtons.
Yep.
and then there was a Black Knight fight. Was that
A joust with the Black Knight, I believe.
Yeah, so you're going to do all these things, and you're going there and succeeding to get white swords, but if you fail, you get black swords.
Yep.
And then the swords go on the round table in a circle, and once you have 12 swords on the table, if you have more white, we win, and if you have more black, the traitor wins.
Yeah.
Traitor wins.
Yeah. It was neat. There was a lot to manage. I know we played for quite a bit without understanding how to get rid of catapults. And then by the time we realized how to get rid of catapults, we were almost overwhelmed by catapults.
There was a lot of catapults.
Yeah, so that took some time to recuperate from. The very first hand of cards that we got, I had a Grail card and thought, oh, I'm just going to go do that, and that's going to be my focus for the whole game. And that was almost a mistake, and then a bunch of people really just pulled out a lot of help the last minute, and we just got it. That was very cool.
Yeah.
Because I honestly did not think I was ever going to complete that quest, and it was going to be the ruin of us all.
Oh, really?
Yep. So I'm glad it worked out really well.
I would be interested in playing it again.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think that would be a game that we would buy, though, just because we're not going to, the two of us here, play it.
Yeah. But it is definitely a good game to have in the area with lots of people.
Yeah, actually, two of our friends have it now, so
yeah, if
we were ever going to play it anyway, it would be with friends.
Yeah,
they have it. We can play their copy.
Yep. So that was cool. Shadows of Camelot, Days of Wonder, classic trader cooperative sort of type game.
Traitor.
Very cool. After that, a whole bunch of people had arrived, and we wrapped up that game, so we decided to play Codenames, because we have it, and we enjoy it, and it plays a lot of players.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Good.
Yeah. Codenames, I don't think I've ever sat down to play Codenames, and it didn't go well.
No, it's not like the other one.
Yeah.
Spyfall.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one is like a niche kind of group game.
Yeah.
But Codenames is good for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because you think Codenames is all about how well can you do word association, but it's really not. It's how well can you develop some kind of like rapport with the people that are on your team, because the way that you are associating words with the Codenames, they have to think the same way.
Yes. Because I was on a team, and the Spy Master, that's what they're called, right?
Yep.
For my team says, I don't think any of you will understand this reference whatsoever, but I'm still going to go with it. And I'm like, oh, why would you if we're not going to understand it? Like, that just doesn't even make sense to me. Like, he knew his teammates well enough that I don't think any of you know anything about racing. But yeah, I'm going to give you a racing reference.
But somebody did.
Someone knew it well enough for one clue, but not all the clues that he gave.
Yeah. So the only thing you can do there is, if that's the only thing you can think of, you do it and you listen to what your teammates say about it, so you can try to pick up on what they know.
Can you imagine, though, if the clue was given and it was just crickets and we had nothing to say about it?
Yeah. Well, then you discuss stuff. Because that's a big part of Codenames that's not mentioned is the Spy Master needs to listen to the team talking to pick up what they're going to associate with certain words. And then, of course, the really difficult part of that is not reacting or interacting with that conversation.
That's the hardest part when you're the Spy Master, not to make the jokes that you would normally make when you're a player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was fun. We played a couple of games of that with different Spy Masters and different teams. That was good. Then after that, we had to split up into two groups because there's too many of us. So what did you go play? I
played Yedo.
Nice.
The Yedo game.
with 5 players.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. And that game is very interesting. A lot of people compare it to Lords of Waterdeep.
I don't even understand that comparison.
The only thing that's similar is that you have workers and you place them.
And you have quests.
And you're completing things
to
complete your quests.
Yeah.
Those are the two similar things.
I suppose that's about it. there's so much going on in Yedo compared to Lords of Waterdeep.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't even feel similar to me at all.
No.
But that's just me.
Yeah, and me.
The game was interesting, though, in the end. It was the third to the last round.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a person in the harbor. And then another player had 2 people in the harbor. So, and I was there to complete a quest, a big quest. It was one of the black quests. And I was going to get 10 points and $20.
And you don't get a lot of points in this game.
No, 10 points is huge.
Yeah.
And this one guy plays a card to not move the guard. So that was going to mean that me and my other player were going to have our people captured and go back to the supply. So she played a card that canceled his card. And I was like, oh, thank goodness, because I didn't have a card to cancel. Thank a goodness. And then another guy played a card to cancel her card. Oh my goodness, we were so... Because it was the third to the last round, and I had worked so hard to get everything I needed. And I needed 3 people out on the board. And I only had 3 people, and he was sending one of my people back to the supply. Oh, so that put me back 2 rounds, because I had to get my person back from the supply.
Yep.
And then situate them all again to make sure that the guard was, because I had to have them. I can't remember the other place. It was the harbor and then 2 other places.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A lot of logistics that when you only have like 2 rounds left.
Is crazy. So then I get my person back on the second to last round. And I get them all situated and I do my quest. And then I'm thinking, okay, well now I have nothing left for the last round. So I said I better get bonus cards to see if any of the bonus cards line up with what I've got done. So the bonus cards I did, I had perfect. I'm like, yes, I'm going to get 9 points at the end of the game. This is awesome. So then on the last round, I'm like, I have nothing left to do. I'll just get a quest. So the quest I got, I'm like, oh, I can't do this one because it'll mess up one of my goals. So I put it behind my other quest. So I was going to do this other quest. But then it got messed up because someone placed people and I couldn't place anymore in the monastery, I think. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it doesn't matter where it was. So then I forgot that the other quest I had would mess up one of my goals.
Yeah.
I forgot and I did it anyway. And I didn't even realize it messed up both my goals. Because
Ouch.
I had to give away my blessing.
Yeah.
And it was an assassin quest.
So you did the quest and got how many points?
Not very many. 2 points.
Okay. And then it messed up your goals, which cost you how many points?
9 points.
So if you had not have done that, would you have won?
I would have finished second.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I finished third.
Yeah. There's a lot to manage in the game. It's really, really fun, but there could be a lot of that kind of passive-aggressive blockage that happens with a lot of worker placement.
But I think some of it's unknowing, because
Yes.
they don't know what your goals are.
And that's the other thing is, a lot of it isn't even passive-aggressive. A lot of it is just they have no clue what they're doing to mess you up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But sometimes they know now, like, they knew we had to be at the harbor.
Yeah.
So then they were trying for us not to get back to the harbor.
Yeah. It's a very cool game. I like
Mm-hmm.
it. I like it quite a bit. I would be interested to borrow it so we could play it 2-player to see does it play well 2-player well enough that we should get it for our collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one of the days
I
we'll do
agree.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
What did you play?
I had a friend come over and he brought Blood Rage, which I have been interested in trying, and I believe you not so much.
Well, it's got blood in the title. Like, come on, seriously.
Seriously.
Blood is gross and it makes me faint. So,
okay.
Yeah.
It's something I've been interested to try because from what I hear about it, or what I have heard about it, is that yes, it's an area control combat game, but it's actually really not. And there's a card draft that apparently is the entire game in the card draft. So I'm like, well, that's very intriguing. And I don't mind the Viking, Ragnarok, going to Valhalla, attack stuff. I don't mind that, but if that's all the game is, it's not going to hold my interest for very long. So, a friend had it, he brought it over, we played a 4-player game, which unfortunately, about halfway through the game turned into a 3-player game because one of the people had to leave. Even though it's only 3 rounds, each of those rounds is rather lengthy. So, it's a longer game than you'd expect. And we started playing it, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And one of the reasons why I enjoyed it so much was, while I needed to understand and learn how to play, watching a lot of videos on it, I already knew that there were certain strategies you could take from the card draft that was going to inform how your entire round was going to go. And me being, I don't know, I get a tricksy person, I immediately just started gathering as many Loki cards as possible. And like my entire game was rushing into battle, losing that battle horribly, and yet gaining a ton of points for it every single time. Or doing crazy things like, oh, I'm going to beat you, and there's no way you're going to win unless you can throw like really powerful cards, and everyone throwing all these powerful cards in, and me dropping a card saying, you know what? I gain points for all of the powerful cards you just played. Bop, 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 bop. And now we discard all of them and play new cards. Oh, I guess I just lost and I'm going to get a whole bunch of points because of that. Bop, 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 bop. And everyone going, would you just stop messing with everything?
That is tricksy.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was just... The reason why I don't enjoy area control, conflicty games is because a lot of it is direct confrontation and a lot of take that, where you're throwing stuff to mess up the other person. Blood Rage takes that whole concept and flips it right on its head, because most of the stuff you're doing doesn't negatively impact the other person. It just takes what they're doing and make it benefit you more. So me and another player would go into like a war and he would win. I would get more points for losing. It
is an interesting concept. Like, yeah. I do admit I will play it at least one time.
Yeah.
And I understand, I think, why they picked the theme that they did. Because it probably goes really well with the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
It's just not something that draws me to a game. Yeah. Or, to anything. Like, even a movie or a book or anything like that. So.
The whole Viking Ragnarok. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's never been anything that I've been really interested in learning about, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things is it's that, but it's also the whole mythology behind it. So that's why my clan wasn't, hey, we're going to go out and beat up people and gain glory. My people just, like, constantly walked into being slaughtered and gained a ton of glory for it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. It's really good. It's really thematic, but at the same time, there's just a lot of amazing gameplay. Now, I've only played it once, and I won because of some amazing card combos that came out in the draft. So I'm wondering how much the game would suffer if I just didn't get any good card combos in the draft. But the cards are all very powerful and very awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool stuff, like if you lose a combat, you don't lose your cards. So a lot of the cards that I was playing that gave me points for losing, I was able to keep them and just keep doing it over and over again. So lots of tricky play there. To the point where I don't know if playing straight up, I'm going to be stronger than everyone else and just constantly win battles. I don't know if that's an actual viable strategy, which is very weird. Yeah. So it needs more investigation and play. But I'm looking forward to borrowing that so we can play me and you. Yeah.
So did they say if it plays okay too?
I have no idea because I don't think they've played it 2-player at all. So, but the friend of ours who brought it over did say later on after they've played it some more, they'd be open to lending it to us for a little while.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yep. So, after Blood Rage and Yido, we broke for some food, and we came back, and there was only 6 of us at that point. So we decided to come back together at one table, and then we played...
Colt Express.
Yeah, Colt Express 6-player.
Colt Express with 6 players is fun.
Colt Express 6-player is the best way to play it.
Yeah, it is.
So we had the entire train out. We did not take any of the expansions because of these people had never really played it before. Well, a couple of them had.
Some of them had, yeah, but not all of them.
Yeah, so we didn't want to get too complicated because as easy as the gameplay is for Colt Express, because all the rules for all the cars are different if you're on the top of the cars or in the cars, that makes it a little tricky to learn.
Yeah, there's enough to keep track of for a first-time player with just the base game.
Yeah. So we played the base game, and that was really, really fun. I don't even remember who won.
Me.
Did you?
Yes.
Nice. Good job.
Because I got 2 briefcases and a diamond.
Oh, right. That's
and
right.
everyone was so upset because you moved the marshal the wrong way and I got to get a briefcase. Then they were all calling shenanigans on you, like,
that was not my fault.
playing favorites.
Because...
Wait, yeah, you couldn't remember what everyone played.
No, it wasn't I couldn't remember. Oh. You played a marshal card to move the marshal out of your way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a round of cards face down.
Yes.
And then I realized, you're moving the marshal. You're probably going for it. I need to move the marshal back. Mm-hmm. And so I played a marshal card on the 3rd turn.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't realize somebody had already played one face down.
Oh.
It wasn't my fault. It was that person's fault.
I see.
Yeah.
But I won, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. And I explained that to the group very clearly. Not my fault. I'm not the one that played the card face down. This is you over there. That's your fault.
Yeah, I guess if you need to play a card that everyone needs to see, you can't be playing it in a tunnel.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it's, need to know information.
Yeah, so that didn't work out.
I thought it was funny, though, the reaction that everyone had. They're all up in arms. And I was, of course, Belle, so she was so pretty, she just walked through the whole train and just picked up briefcases and diamonds and ran away with it.
Yeah.
It's very thematic.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoy that. That's a great, game for a lot of people, at a international tabletop party day type thing. Because it's just a bunch of crazy, chaotic shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. Then we were done. We needed one more game to play. Because the crazy, chaotic shenanigans of Colt Express went over so well, we decided to play Libert Alaga.
Yes, and we hadn't played that for quite some time, actually.
Quite a long time. We haven't played that in over a year. Yeah. So it was good to get that on the table.
Yeah.
And still fun. Still enjoy it. Still a lot of crazy, chaotic shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which was interesting.
Yeah. It was interesting to watch the first-time players, start to figure out, oh, this is the kind of game it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's funny because we've played it a lot, and I was dead last. I don't know why, but I am not good at Libertalia in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, that's sad.
And I think what it is I look at my string of cards and go, if I play, looking at the board, this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, that would be the perfect string of how to make sure everything meshes well. And I cannot wrap my brain around trying to figure out what everyone else is going to play. And so the logical sequence of my cards gets completely obliterated and messed up by everyone else.
That's funny because I play the exact same way as you.
Yeah.
And I won.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it was hilarious. The very first round, people were just kind of, getting a feel for the game.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of quiet and I wasn't saying what I was... Well, they saw what I was taking, but they weren't taking notice of what I was taking.
Yeah.
And I didn't play any of the cards in the first round that got rid of any of my money. I only played cards in the first round that gained me money.
Yeah.
And I didn't have very many cards in the end that were anchors that gave me points. I had one, I think. So everyone was counting their points, and the person that had the second to highest, they were like, yes, I got 18, what was it? 18 or 19 points.
Yeah. Because
everyone else had less than that, and I knew I had a lot, so I was waiting until the very last person to say. And you asked me what I got, and when I realized that the closest person to me was 19, I was a little embarrassed. Well, not embarrassed, but proud maybe.
Yeah.
But scared to say my total was 35 doubloons. And then, of course, it was the run-on to keep everything away from Charlotte.
Yeah. It was funny. That was a good game.
Yeah.
I like Libertalia. I'm horrible at it, but I enjoy playing it, which is funny. And at that point, of course, it was about midnight. We'd been playing for
12 hours.
yeah, roughly 12 hours. It was time to wrap up. So we wrapped up International Tabletop Day. International Tabletop Day, kind of one of the days that I wish we could like just stay awake for much longer. Because there's
nice.
always so many more games I would like to get to the table.
I know. When I look at the list this year, it seems kind of short. But
Yeah.
I think Blood Rage and Yido, they both were 2
They
hours.
are, yeah, they are longer games. Yeah. And there was talk of Twilight Imperium 3, which that is going to have to be a day in and of itself, because that is a long
Yes,
game.
that's like a marathon game,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So we have a friend who has that in the area. We'll be checking that out sometime in the not so distant future. One of our friends saw the side of the Gallerist, the side that the Gallerist is actually cut off by the paper, which looks hilarious. It's awesome on the box. And he thought there was something wrong with the box. So I had to take it out and show him, and there were several people around the table who were like, ooh. That's going to have to be a day in itself, because that's only 4 players, and that's a really deep game to get into.
It is.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just imagine, we've played it with 2.
Yeah.
I can't remember how long it took.
Mm-hmm.
But explaining it to 2 other people and then playing
Yeah.
a 4-player game,
Yeah.
that's probably going to be a whole afternoon, but it would be awesome.
It would be. And then one of the games that we have recently reviewed, and then at the end of our review didn't know if we were going to get rid of it or not, Grand Austria Hotel. We have since played it several more times.
Yes.
And we still don't know, like, do we love this game, or are we just like, do we just want to master it so well that we don't actually like the game and don't know it?
Yeah, it's such a weird experience to play that game.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Because
So we still have it.
I don't know if I like it or not, but I need to know how to play it.
There we go. So we thought if we could get 2 people to sit down and we could play a like more than 2 player,
Yeah.
that might help us understand the game a little bit better. Like, is it really a keeper?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen either. So that's another day.
Yeah. So we have 3 gaming marathons coming up then.
Yeah. Right on. That was our International Tabletop Day.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. We need to make our own tabletop days where we just have a bunch of people come over.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've slowed down on that a little bit. We should ramp it up some more.
Well, winter, the driveway's full of snow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cold.
Yeah.
You don't want to drive on ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer's coming.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Stark.
I don't know anything about Starks.
All right, so that's podcast number 12.
That it is.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll talk at you later.
Laters.